Welcome to the program. Police in Nairobi gunned down 8 suspect gangsters last night in the Kasarani area following an operation that saw them trail the suspect from the Nairobi Central Business District to Mwiki area in Kasarani.
Now, 3 guns and 2 vehicles believed to have been stolen were recovered, and Sharon Momanyi opens our bulletin this afternoon with that story.
Following a tip-off from members of the public, the boys in uniform trailed the suspects before cornering them in Mwiki area. A standoff degenerating into a fierce gun battle that saw the 8 criminals gunned down by the police.
Those of them who have been caught and are still committing the same offenses may be not lucky this time around because we still have some of them who we are still trailing.
The suspected criminals are said to have conducted a series of robberies within Kasarani and Mwiki areas. The residents here welcome the police operations to clamp down on crime and insecurity that saw the gangsters shot.
Sasa baada yake nikasikia risasi kama inalia. Kwa hiyo nikaona mjamaa mmoja akatoka kwa gari akachimbia hivi. Sasa ikaanza kulia. Kati ilianza kulia nikateke cover.
Police say they have been trailing the gang for a long time. Among the items recovered were 3 guns, driving licenses, wallets, and 2 cars. Police have issued stern warning to other suspected gangs that they are out to find them all and bring them to justice. Sharon Momanyi, KTN.
Right, moving on, 38 students from different schools in Meru were yesterday rescued from an accident in waiting by police after the driver and the conductor of the Matatu, they were arrested for drunk driving. Now, the 2 visibly intoxicated men confessed at the Imenti North Police Station for risking the lives of the students when they were arrested along the Meru-Mokendori Road. Here is Eric Njoka with all the drama that accompanied the arrest of the crew.
Nothing is wrong with the vehicle, but a whole lot was wrong with the crew of this 40-seater Matatu headed to Meru carrying 38 students, all heading home for the midterm break. In handcuffs, the driver and conductor were taken to the Imenti police station where it was all about why they had been arrested: drinking and driving. The students in the bus seemed oblivious of the danger that could have befallen them if the 2 could have proceeded with the trip. And it gets even worse. It was not just about the drink driving, there was an even bigger problem. 7 jerrycans full of petrol were part of the luggage in the Matatu. A recipe for disaster with the vehicle had been involved in an accident.
This is an example to the general public that you also have a duty. You also have a duty as a passenger, not just to be carried as a sack. Please stop the driver, make noise, make calls to the police to alert them so that such people are not allowed to drive any vehicle on the road, not just a public service vehicle.
The 2 were arrested when a trailing vehicle noticed the bus veering off the road. They were eventually stopped at a roadblock. Ironically, the bus belongs to an immediate former politician in Tharaka Nithi County, and it has never been inspected. The owner got it rough when the police impounded the vehicle.
It is bad. Why are you allowing that? Juzi tumekuwa na very serious accident here and you are aware. Do you want kila siku Meru or Kenya we keep reporting wananchi wamekufa, they have been maimed?
The fate that met the 2 is apparently common in Meru. Drivers and conductors drink as they wait for their vehicles to be full at the Meru main bus terminal before driving to their destination. Perhaps parents should be wary of what means their children use to get home when schools close. Eric Njoka, KTN.
From that truly lucky escape in Meru, let's now shift gears to security, where 15 suspected Al-Shabaab sympathizers have been arrested in Wajir County and an assortment of weapons seized. The arrest comes just a day after police officers seized 27 tons of bomb-making chemicals in Wajir as well. The suspects are believed to be planning terror attacks on Kenyan soil, and Samogina has the details.
Security apparatus in the border town of Wajir have stepped up security surveillance in the Kenya-Somalia common border. Just a day after administration police in Wajir County seized a truck ferrying 27 tons of explosive-making chemicals, the operation continues and 15 suspects have been arrested, and a large cache of assault rifles, hand and rocket-propelled grenades, and assorted array of improvised explosive devices have been impounded.
Tangu serikali ya Somalia ilipoanguka, kumekuwa na mambo mengi sana. Wahalifu wanatoka huko kuiba mali, wengine wanakuja kuua na mambo kama hayo, na sisi tunashirikiana kabisa kufanya.
Security officers in Wajir are on the offensive to thwart Al-Shabaab insurgents inside Kenya's borders. Officers say the ammunition are linked to the Al-Shabaab or their sympathizers fleeing Somalia, trying to get a foothold in the country. So far, the security operation in Wajir has netted over 5,000 rounds of ammunition, 50 hand grenades, 100 AK-47 rifles, 50 G3 rifles, 300 timer explosives, 200 improvised explosive devices, 2 anti-tank rockets, 3 anti-aircraft rockets, 15 rocket-propelled grenades, and 400 anti-personnel mines, among other terror-related paraphernalia.
Tumeweza kunasa bunduki mingi sana kuanzia mwaka uliopita, bunduki ambazo ni haramu, na tumezipata kutoka kwa wahalifu wengine kutoka kwa mipaka yetu ambayo tunapakana na Somalia, na zingine hata hapa ndani.
Meanwhile, a memorial service for slain officials at the UN base in Somali capital Mogadishu was held on Thursday at the Mogadishu International Airport. At least 15 people were killed when a militant car rigged with explosives was detonated at the United Nations common compound. Samugina, KTN, Nairobi.
Just days after a Nairobi woman appeared in court for allegedly attempting to murder her husband, another one is on the run in Kerugoya, and this is after attacking her husband with a machete and then leaving him for dead. The man is in critical condition at the Kerugoya Public Hospital, and police have launched a manhunt for the woman. Catherine Omwando reports.
David Mureithi Kabui only recalls his wife going at him with a machete at their home in Kaireda village, Kirinyaga County. The couple were engaged in a bitter argument, and he cannot recall what exactly sparked her off. His wife is believed to have run away immediately after the incident.
Kati alikuja kwetu, alikuwa ametoka damu sana kwa kichwa, akaendelea hivyo, tukimtibu, tukimpatia dawa za shindano.
If it were not for his relatives who found him bleeding profusely on the floor of his house, David may not be alive today. They rushed him to Kerugoya Hospital, where he was operated on immediately. Incidentally, this comes only a day after a woman in Nairobi was charged with the attempted murder of her husband, and a few years back, another woman from the same area severely battered her husband, who came home drunk. The woman hit her husband so hard that he lost 9 teeth. The two have since divorced. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Sad indeed. Former freedom fighter and patron of the Mau Mau War Veterans Association, Ndungu wa Gisheru, is dead. General Gisheru died last night at the age of 85, moments after he was admitted at the Mathare Mission Hospital in Nyeri following a long illness. Now, the freedom fighter that was second in command to Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi during the struggle for Kenya's independence was bedridden for over 3 years. Gisheru will be remembered for shooting down a British chopper during the colonial era at Aberdares Forest, where he was operating from. The chairman of the Mau Mau Association, Elijah Kinywa, alias General Bahati, requested the government to accord General Gisheru a state burial and also compensate the war veterans while they are still alive. The war veterans' family asked the government to assist them to cater for burial.
Yes. Uhuru.
Let's now talk about food. And farmers in the North Rift are predicting a maize shortage this year. following the delays experienced in the distribution of the subsidized fertilizers that will impact negatively on the yields. According to the farmers, the government has failed to avail the subsidized inputs on time, forcing them to use substitute fertilizers, which may be rendered ineffective by the ongoing heavy rains. North Rift NCPB Regional Manager Jonah Marindich confirmed the fears, saying the fertilizers are expected anytime soon. Currently, 7,000 bags of the CAN fertilizers for Eldoret region had just been loaded in Mombasa and are expected to arrive in the next couple of days, even though this will already be too late. Farmers in Uasin Gishu have asked the government to procure farm inputs on time and bring them to their end, to an end their frustration. The North Rift region is a leading producer of maize and wheat in this country.
Tunao upungufu mkubwa sana. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ilete mbolea kwa wingi ili tusiwe na gharama kila wakati ya kuja kubeba mbolea kama gunia 10, kama gunia 5.
Isiwe kwamba competition ya duka inakuwa juu kuliko serikali. Then itakuwa na maana gani kwamba serikali ishindwe na wale businessmen?
Right, very moving story there of the woman who hacked the husband.
Absolutely. I mean, it's scary if you think about it, but you can find all these stories on www.standardmedia.co.ke, including others that we haven't aired, like one of an AP who killed a colleague over a 50,000 shilling bribe. That's all happening on our website, www.standardmedia.co.ke.
And also, being a Friday, you can get entertainment news on SDE, that Standard Digital Entertainment website.
Miss Nancy. This season on the Property Show, we shall continue giving you expert advice, showing you properties available on the hot property of the week, accessory spot, and other properties available in the market. There's something for everyone.
KwaZulu-Natal. Tough to say, even tougher to drive. Sounds like one for the all-new Ranger. Out here, even when the road stops, it just keeps on going. And even weighed down, it keeps powering on. Built for any challenge. The all-new Ford Ranger.
Faulu civil servants and TSC loans interests zimeshuka from 16% to 12%. I mean, 1% per month.
Servants, TSC, disciplined forces and parastatal staff. Take up to 3 million shillings and enjoy a convenient repayment plan with this reduced interest rate.
Welcome back to the program. Let's talk about business now. We'll start with factors to watch in the African markets. We'll start here in Nairobi, where the Kenyan shilling fell on Thursday as importers bought dollars, anticipating further losses in the local currency due to a wider selling of emerging markets. Now, while shares edged up for the second day in this Kenyan market, U.S. company Comac Energy will invest 3 billion shillings, if you like, $35 million to prospect for oil and gas in 4 blocks in Kenya. Let's go to our neighbors now. Uganda on Thursday signed a contract granting China's Sino Hydro Group Limited a tender to build a large hydropower dam in the Nile River at a price of $1.65 billion. Now, this the government has confirmed, reviving a project that stalled for years by the lack of money. Well, according to Reuters news agency, central banks in Kenya and Nigeria are expected to pump dollars into their financial markets to cushion their currencies as investors worldwide dump risky assets after the U.S. heralded an end to its bond buying program. And worries about increased government debt and lower donor aid are expected to push yields higher at an auction in Uganda next week, while Kenya bond yields are set to continue their decline. Going down south, and South African stocks slid more than 3% on Thursday as global markets slumped up on the prospect of a slowdown in the U.S. Federal Reserve bond buying program. South African bond yields surged and emerging market investors sold off on the news that the U.S. Federal Reserve was preparing to throttle down its $85 billion a month monetary stimulus program. Elsewhere, oil theft and pipeline vandalism were responsible for a 5% fall in Nigeria's government revenue in May to 590.7 billion naira, or just about $3.68 billion US dollars, compared to 621 billion naira in the previous month. The accountant general said on Thursday. Meanwhile, Royal Dutch Shell's PLC, Shell Nigeria, said Thursday it had shut its Trans-Niger pipeline after an explosion and a fire at the crude oil theft, deferring 150,000 barrels per day. Well, Asian stocks hit a fresh 9.5 month low Friday, while the spot gold slipped to its lowest price in years after Federal Reserve's plan to scale back stimulus continued to worry investors. And finally, Brent futures held above the $102 a barrel on Friday as a steep fall in the previous session gave investors an opportunity to buy. But a cross-market rout triggered by Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke's comments on widening down stimulus-capped gains, and we seem to have all the markets reacting to the statements by Fed Chief Ben Bernanke. Right, coming back to Nairobi, motorists can now pay for fuel, lubricants, car wash, car service, and even goods through Airtel Money, following a partnership between Airtel and Total Kenya. The deal will also allow customers to deposit cash, withdraw cash, as well as pay for their utility bills at any Total petrol station. Now, this partnership will see each Total service station set up a unique pay bill business name that the customer will use to purchase goods and services. Now, the service is readily available at Total outlets in Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, Nakuru, and Eldoret. And finally, property investors in the country are now turning their focus on counties. As a result, developers now want the county government to put up policies that will realize ideal land to ease development of housing projects in the counties. At the moment, approximately 70% of land in the country belongs to the government, with religious and non-governmental institutions holding close to 15%, posing hurdles for investors in the sector. The need for more housing in the country is expected to gather momentum as devolution takes shape, with demand for offices and residential houses for staff taking up jobs in the counties. Well, that's all for business. Let's shift gears to sports now.
Thank you, Tunya. We begin with the Confederations Cup, where Nigeria's chances of a FIFA Confederations semi-final slot hinges on their performance during their final group match, and that's against world and European champion Spain on Sunday. The Super Eagles lost 1-2 to Uruguay last night. Though the Super Eagles enjoy a superior goal difference, Uruguay, who next plays Tahiti, could be assured to a semi-final slot. Now, Tahiti soaked in 10 goals from Spain in a match that Fernando Torres netted 4 times.
As to whether Spain could extend their unbeaten
hat-trick from Fernando Torres and David Villa helped world and European champion Spain to reach the FIFA Confederation Cup finals with a 10-0 whitewash over Tahiti. Torres found space on the left-hand side of the Tahiti box, and he picked out the glaring space at Michael Rogers' near post to give Spain the lead.
Against the world and Euro champions.
Spain were forced to wait until the third of the match had passed before adding their tally. Villa still had time to make it 4-0 before the breather. With 49 minutes played, Villa could not possibly miss after being set up by Monreal yards from goal. Torres had a simple job of rounding off his hat-trick after Navas' pullback finding him alone in the box.
By side-footing it in and rushes.
Villa joined him in racing up the third when he capitalized on Roche's slip to tap in. Then John Mata joined in the fun when he met the best of the porous Tahitian defending to fire a right-footed shot home. Torres sparked wild celebration from the goalkeeper and many of his sympathizers among the crowd when he stuck the penalty onto the bar. But he atoned his error not long after, embarrassing Roche with a shift of his body and tapping into an empty net, before Silva then finished off the game with a left-footed drive into the bottom of the corner.
Silva combining in the box as a team who were third in the last FIFA competition.
Both Uruguay and Nigeria were far from their best in their opening feat.
Uruguay beat African flag bearers Nigeria 2-1 in the other group match. Forlan's deflected cross that was unintentionally damaged by Edison Cavani at the near post and unmarked Lugano scuffed the ball into the back of the net.
While the unmarked skipper Diego Lugano scuffed it home.
The game had gone flat thereafter, but the crowd was sparked into life 8 minutes before the break when the Super Eagles restored parity. Ide fed Mikel at the top of the box, and the Chelsea midfielder jinked for the static Lugano and Ben a fine left-footed finished into the top of the corner.
Equaliser. And now the noise is African noise.
The African champions picked up where they left off following the restart, but it was Uruguay who struck next with 51 minutes on the clock. Suarez and Cavani combined to set up Forlan on the left of the area, and he capped a century of appearance with an unstoppable first-time finish, beating Vincent Enyama.
100 caps, a memorable goal.
The Napoli striker then failed to hit his target again with a free header shortly after, but Tarabel's team retained their 2-1 advantage to get to the final whistle. Wahisi Moses, KTN Sports.
Well, here's another story that you can find on our website regarding sports. It's big right now. Miami Heat and their second straight National Basketball Association title over the San Antonio Spurs with a 95-88 win. Remember, all this is on our website, www.standardmedia.co.ke.
On the day that Tahiti restricted Spain to 10 goals.
All right. Did you know fact of the day? If you were afraid of clowns growing up, or if you're still afraid of them, you know what? I have a reason for you. Researchers polled 250 children regarding their opinion on clowns, and all 250 of them say that they found clowns frightening.
Exactly.
Don't have clowns at your children's parties.
I always frightening.
Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. My name is Edith Kimani. Hopefully we'll see you here Monday.
Monday. My name is Bonnie Tunes. Good afternoon.